Most men believe cheating happens suddenly, that it's a slip, a fleeting mistake, a single moment of weakness that just happened. But the truth is far darker and far more predictable. Cheating, in many cases, is not random at all. It is patterned. It is wired into certain habits. It is baked into personality traits and reinforced by choices that, when ignored, almost guarantee betrayal. And here's the harsh reality. If you don't learn to recognize the signs, you will be the man left behind, confused, heartbroken, asking yourself, "What did I do wrong?" while she has already moved on to her next source of excitement. You see, some women don't cheat because they are evil or because they hate their partner. They cheat because the very way they are wired, their psychology, their values, their hunger for validation, sets them on a path where cheating becomes almost inevitable. And if you, as a man, are blind to these warning signs, you are not protecting yourself. You are walking willingly into disaster. That's why, in today's video, we are going to uncover the types of women most likely to cheat. This isn't about demonizing women. This isn't about bitterness or resentment. This is about clarity, truth, and wisdom. Because the wise man observes human behavior and adjusts his choices accordingly. The foolish man ignores the patterns and then suffers the same heartbreaks others already warned him about. So, pay close attention. Take notes if you must, because once you see these types clearly, you can never unsee them again. Let's begin. 1. The attention addict. She is never satisfied. No matter how much you give, no matter how devoted you are, no matter how consistently you show up, she always craves more. On the surface, she might say she wants a loyal man. She might insist she's looking for a man who will love her unconditionally, who will treat her like a queen, who will make her the center of his world. And yet, when she finally gets that man, when she has exactly what she claims to want, something strange happens. It's not enough. It never is. Why? Because her deepest addiction isn't love. It isn't commitment. It isn't even intimacy. Her addiction is attention, the hidden hunger. The attention addict is not satisfied with the eyes of one man. She thrives on being seen, noticed, and admired by many. At first, this might look harmless. She's fun. She's charismatic. She knows how to make a room light up when she walks in. Her confidence is magnetic, and as her partner, it feels flattering, almost like winning the jackpot. But then, cracks start to appear. She's posting selfies online that look a little too carefully staged, a little too revealing. Not for her own memory, but clearly for reactions. She constantly brings up stories about other men noticing her. "This guy at the cafe wouldn't stop looking at me," she says with a smirk, as if she needs you to know she's in demand. She flirts casually in social settings. Not enough for you to call it cheating, but just enough to leave you unsettled. And if you ever bring it up, she laughs. She waves it off. She insists it's nothing serious. "I'm just friendly," she'll say. "It's harmless." But you feel it. You see it. And deep down, you know, she is feeding something inside her, something you alone can never satisfy. The psychology of attention addiction. Think of it like this. For some people, their drug is alcohol. For others, it's gambling. For many in our generation, it's the constant dopamine hit of likes and comments on social media. For women like this, the drug is male attention. Every compliment, every stare, every DM, every little "you're beautiful" or "you're gorgeous." It's a hit, a rush, a chemical high. And just like with any addiction, the more they get, the less powerful it becomes. This is what psychologists call the law of diminishing returns. At the start, your love and validation feel like the greatest gift in the world. It lights her up. But over time, she gets used to it. You're beautiful no longer feels special. Your attention no longer satisfies her craving. And once your attention loses its power, she seeks it elsewhere. That coworker who compliments her new outfit. That stranger who makes her feel sexy again. That ex who randomly messages her, reminding her of a different chapter of life. At first, she tells herself, it's harmless. I'm not doing anything wrong. But each little interaction pushes the boundary further and further. Until one day, she steps fully across the line. The Stoic warning, a Stoic would say, pay attention not to what people say, but to what they value. If her values are rooted in external validation, no amount of loyalty on your part will anchor her, because her compass doesn't point inward, it points outward, always searching for who else is watching, who else is clapping, who else is desiring her. And this makes her dangerous, not because she intends harm, but because her very nature is restless. As Epictetus warned, if you wish to be loved, love virtue. But if she loves attention more than she loves virtue, then her loyalty is conditional. It exists only until the next high arrives. The biggest mistake men make: most men think, if I just love her harder, if I just give more, if I just pour out everything I have, she won't need anyone else. But here's the painful truth. With the attention addict, the more you give, the less valuable it becomes. She doesn't need one ocean of love. She needs an endless stream of drops from everywhere. And you cannot compete with the world. The final reality. So what happens when you stay with her? You will exhaust yourself trying to fill a bottomless cup. You will compete with shadows. And one day, you will wake up to find that while you were giving her everything, she was already halfway out the door, chasing a new spark, a new glance, a new thrill. And the most tragic part, she won't even understand why you're so hurt. Because in her mind, it was never about betraying you. It was never about love versus disloyalty. It was only about chasing that fleeting feeling of being desired. That's why the only way to win with a woman like this is to walk away. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but in wisdom. Because the Stoic man understands it is better to face the loneliness of truth than the heartbreak of illusions. 2. The woman who gets bored in every relationship. She falls fast. She dives in head first. The early days feel like a whirlwind romance, a dream come true. She's passionate, affectionate, and intoxicating. With her, you feel like the only man in the world. She wants to spend every moment together. She showers you with love and attention. She tells you things like, I've never felt this way about anyone before. It feels too good to be true. And that's because it is. The pattern. This type of woman is addicted to the honeymoon phase. She thrives on newness, on excitement, on the dopamine rush of falling in love. But the problem is, she confuses intensity with intimacy. She doesn't know how to sustain love once the fireworks fade. As soon as the relationship becomes normal, stable, and consistent, she feels something's wrong. She starts to lose interest. She starts scanning for something more thrilling. She craves the high of romance, not the discipline of commitment. And because she doesn't understand that true love grows in the quiet, ordinary rhythms of life, she sabotages every relationship the moment it starts to feel steady. The psychology behind her restlessness. At her core, this type of woman is terrified of boredom. To her, love isn't about loyalty. It's about constant stimulation. When you stop surprising her, she thinks you've changed. When the relationship feels calm, she mistakes it for dying. When life demands routine, work, bills, responsibilities, she feels trapped. This restlessness often comes from childhood wounds. Perhaps she grew up in chaos and now mistakes stability for dullness. Or maybe she was never taught that love is built, not just felt. Whatever the reason, she is wired to chase butterflies, not to plant roots. The Stoic insight Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This woman's thoughts are poisoned by the illusion that happiness is found in novelty. She never cultivates the discipline of gratitude for what she already has. A Stoic man must remember, if a woman cannot sit peacefully in the quiet of your company without craving escape, she is not capable of building a lasting bond. True love is not constant fireworks. True love is choosing each other in both the exciting and the ordinary, the reality of staying with her. If you ignore the warning signs, here's what happens. She will grow distant once the initial spark fades. She will start picking fights to create drama, because drama feels exciting. And eventually, she will seek that rush elsewhere. Not because you failed, not because you weren't enough, but because she never learned that love is about consistency, not adrenaline. And when she cheats, she'll justify it by saying things like, "I just wasn't happy anymore," or "I felt like something was missing." The truth is, she wasn't missing anything. She was addicted to novelty. And once the novelty was gone, she replaced you with someone new. A wise man doesn't beg such a woman to stay. He lets her chase her illusions while he protects his heart from her chaos. 3. The woman who lives for drama. Some women thrive on peace, others thrive on progress. But this type? She thrives on chaos. For her, drama isn't a problem, it's oxygen. She creates it, feeds on it, and cannot live without it. At first, she's exciting. Her life is full of stories, arguments with friends, feuds at work, family conflicts, emotional highs and lows. You think, wow, she's so passionate, so alive. But soon, you realize, she drags that chaos into your relationship. The pattern. She doesn't just argue when necessary, she argues for entertainment. She twists small issues into explosions. She picks fights just to feel alive. One moment she adores you, the next she despises you. She'll tell you she loves you more than anything, then hours later accuse you of not caring enough. And every fight ends the same way, in tears, apologies, and an intense reconciliation that feels almost romantic. This cycle becomes addictive for both of you. You start mistaking turbulence for passion. You start believing that all relationships must feel like war, followed by peace treaties. But this is not passion. This is dysfunction. The psychology of drama seekers. Why does she live this way? Because deep down, she is uncomfortable with peace. Silence feels like emptiness. Calm feels like neglect. Stability feels like abandonment. So she creates storms, not because she wants to destroy love, but because she doesn't know how to exist without emotional fireworks. This often comes from unresolved trauma. Perhaps her childhood was unstable, and now stability feels foreign. Or perhaps she learned early on that attention only comes during crises. Whatever the case, she equates chaos with love. The Stoic insight Epictetus warned, when someone is properly grounded in life, they will not waste time on being angry. But this type of woman is not grounded. She is tossed about by every wave of emotion. And if you tie yourself to her ship, you will drown with her storms. The Stoic man must ask himself, am I with her because I love her, or because I am addicted to the chaos she brings? For many men, the drama itself becomes intoxicating. It feels like passion, but in truth, it is destruction. The reality of staying with her. If you stay with this woman, you will never know peace. You will walk on eggshells, fearing her next explosion. You will mistake constant conflict for intensity. And one day, exhausted, you will realize you've wasted years in a relationship that went in circles. And yes, women like this often cheat. Not necessarily because they want someone else, but because cheating creates the ultimate drama. It gives them chaos, betrayal, tears, and fire, the emotional fireworks they crave. And when it happens, you'll be left wondering how love turned into a battlefield. The truth is, with her, it always was. 4. The narcissist. At first, she is magnetic. She's confident, ambitious, charming. She makes you feel lucky to be with her. She knows how to present herself as the prize. And at first, you believe it. You feel like you've caught a rare treasure. But over time, you realize her world doesn't revolve around us. It revolves around her. The pattern, every conversation somehow shifts back to her. Every decision is about her needs. Every sacrifice is expected from you, while she gives little in return. She doesn't see you as a partner. She sees you as a mirror. Your role is to reflect her greatness, to admire her, to feed her ego. And if you stop feeding that ego, she looks elsewhere. Because narcissists don't seek love. They seek supply, constant admiration, attention, and validation. The psychology of narcissism. Underneath her confidence lies insecurity. The narcissist builds a false self-image, like armor, to hide her fragility. She cheats not always for pleasure, but for validation. To prove to herself she is still desired, still powerful, still worthy. This is why loyalty means nothing to her. She doesn't bond through love. She bonds through ego. And once your admiration stops giving her the high she needs, she finds someone else to provide it. The Stoic insight Seneca once said, "A man is as miserable as he thinks he is." The narcissist is deeply miserable, though she hides it well. Her misery comes from the endless hunger to be adored, because no amount of praise ever fills the void within. A Stoic man must remember, you cannot fix someone who refuses to see their own emptiness. And if you try, you will only become another casualty in her cycle of using and discarding. The reality of staying with her. At first, you will feel like her hero, but eventually, you will feel invisible. You will realize your love is not being received. It is being consumed. You are not a partner. You are fuel. And when you run out of energy to keep feeding her ego, she will discard you like an empty cup, not with guilt, not with hesitation, but with cold indifference. Because in her world, you are never more than a reflection. 5. The secret opportunist. Not every cheater is loud or obvious. Some are quiet, calculating, and strategic. This type of woman doesn't cheat out of boredom, chaos, or even addiction. She cheats out of opportunity. Her loyalty is conditional. It lasts only as long as the relationship benefits her. The pattern. At first, she appears loyal. She doesn't flirt publicly. She doesn't seem dramatic. She doesn't even demand constant attention. But if a better option crosses her path, a man with more status, more money, more power, she will consider it. And if the opportunity is strong enough, she will take it. Her loyalty isn't to you. It's to her self-interest. The psychology of opportunism. This type of woman sees relationships as investments. She thinks in terms of gains and losses. If you provide comfort, she stays. If someone else offers more, she leaves. If she can cheat without consequences, she will. Not because she's overwhelmed with passion, but because it's efficient. In her mind, morality bends to self-interest. The Stoic insight. Marcus Aurelius warned, Do not expect the world to be just. Teach yourself to be indifferent to injustice. The opportunist is not motivated by love, but by advantage, and if you tie your heart to her, you will eventually feel betrayed. The Stoic response is not anger, but clarity. You must see her as she is, not as you wish her to be. The reality of staying with her. If you stay, you live with uncertainty. You will always wonder if you're enough. You will always fear being replaced. And the truth is, you eventually will be. Not because you lacked value, but because she sees life as a ladder. And once she spots the next rung, she climbs without looking back.